Welcome back to the Garth Riley Show, third segment with Ken Wells, who's from the International Expert Directory. And Ken, when we went to break, we were talking about, what the internet's now done to the gatekeepers, and more importantly, the gatekeepers have their job. Let's face it, and a lot of them do it really well. I think some of them do it, and as I said towards the end, the exit of the last segment, is that some of them really need to be a little more innovative in their thinking, because they could be preventing their executives from getting some of the best, greatest talent or information out there because they think they're doing their job.
That's right.
But at the end of the day, if they've stood in the way and there was a crisis there, it may not be so good for them.
But they don't know that, right? And it's one of my favorite lines is, you don't know what you don't know, right? And if so therefore if they're not open, right, because their job is really to say no, right? Unless you meet that small criteria that's going to allow you through. Their job is to say no.
But I think those days are gone a bit, Ken. I mean,
they are.
It's got to be, because we, in our business, and we can talk about each other's business here. I know that weekly we make adjustments. Weekly we're like, okay, that doesn't work, we got to do this, or that worked, but we can do this better. And we're not locked into, will we see this? Maybe we're going this direction. Maybe we got to change. We're still going down the path. We're teleological by nature. We're kind of going on the beam, off the beam. But that's the very nature of what's happening to us. And we have to be open now. I
mean, when we talk about gatekeepers, we're really talking more about big business, right, and smaller businesses. But it's still the same with the small business.
Truly.
Because you've got to, even if you sell products and services to a small business, you still have to intrigue them, right?
Yes.
And that's really what the internet has done, right? Because entrepreneurs, small businesses, what you really learn is that they hang out in their own little group. And it's how to penetrate that group, right? And social media has come a long way in that. The internet has come a long way in that. And companies are realizing that they have to have an internet presence.
So once they have this internet presence, which is something that we've been doing and what we've created, in fact, you know what? People realize that the studio is very active. I'm looking in the hallway and I can actually see our head of IT, Breck Stewart's out there, and he's trying to look through the door to see if he should come in. Breck, you can come in. Yeah. But that's what it is. It's like, it's real time, right? You can do this. So this idea of social media is now it's a social conversation that we find intriguing in a coffee shop or at a cocktail party or a networking meeting, that we get an opportunity to meet somebody, but more importantly, meet their artistry, meet what they really are good at. They may not know what they're good at.
That's right, and most people don't know what they're good at, right? And that's again why most small businesses fail, right? Is because of a few basic things that you take for granted that everybody knows, but you don't, and that's what do I offer, right? What is it that I do? Who's my target market? How am I going to get that message out?
The internet is good for that and bad for that.
Yes. Yes, and on the internet, social media is instant, and that's what's great about it.
I think we should make the distinction between social media and the internet. Internet's the platform. It's called the 5,000+ day old business that are machine rather that's never ever broken down. May have broken at your house, may have broken at my house, but it's always been working. But now we have this social platforming. Social business is now the new norm.
Yes.
Corporations were pushing it hard. 8 months ago, we started talking. People say, it's not going to happen. And we were already leading on we call riding the edge of chaos. And today they're like, we got to do this. And it's kind of funny to be right there. And like 6 months ago, I was almost having to tell people, wake up. And now they're like, I'm awake. What do I do now?
Yeah, they're scrambling. I mean, a lot of especially large corporations are scrambling to get on that, right? Because they know it's so big. You look at the Twitters, you look at the LinkedIn. LinkedIn probably at this point for business has more value than Twitter, right? Twitter seems to be losing a little bit of ground, but Facebook is becoming more and more business all the time.
Well, is that because, sorry, I'm jumping on, but I think it's becoming more business all the time because we're finding more people are becoming defaulted entrepreneurs.
Yes, well, I mean, entrepreneurs is the big thing. Always has been the big thing. I mean, that's where all the business is coming from. And when you look at, even companies that, large companies, they're scaling down. They're getting a little smaller, but they're also sending people home. Work from home, right? Because it's costing them less money. And those people that are working from home, what do you think they're doing? I mean, a lot of them are on the internet, right? They're looking for, information is really king, and that's really what they're looking for. Is everybody's looking for information. So
quality information, easy to find. The problem with the internet is that now everything, if you had, well, Wikipedia is a great example. You know, I could post, right, and make up a word if I had to.
Yes.
So we want competent, relevant, credible information. And now that's where Google's clearly identified that. And Google's now said, I don't care how many people are linking, I don't care what your odometer says on how many clicks you've had. Google is not even ranking that anymore. I mean, they do, but they don't. What they're looking for is the interconnectivity. Are you creating relevant, compelling information that other people are prepared to share through their network, or as Breck talks about as the starfish from Robert Scoble's teaching, and are we going to be interconnected this way, and is your information relevant enough to share with other people? That truly now becomes the new web of information, so a lot of the crap falls to the wayside.
You know what, it does, and it doesn't, and I want to really clarify that.
Okay.
A lot of the really good information that you could find, let's say on Google, if you went to Google and you're searching for something, isn't on page 1, right? And isn't on page 2. It's on those other pages, right? It's on page 43, right? That you're going to go, and the difference is companies don't know how to get off page 43 and get on the first page, because it's, you know, when you look at internet stats, here comes that speech thing again. 85%, you know, of the people won't go past the first page.
Correct.
Right, 95% don't go past the second page. So if you're not on the first or the second page, you're not really in the game. So so what you're seeing there is a very selected, filtered view, right? And it's the people who are willing to spend the money, you know, to get on that first and second page that you're seeing. So you're only seeing some stuff.
Right.
You're not seeing the real good stuff.
When we talk about International Expert Directory as a resource, takes and profiles people that have expertise in certain areas, allows them to post their understandings and maybe their theories and their findings, and post it there about what they've created or thought of or whatever. And your goal was to help profile, give a platform that someone could go to that and have relevant, compelling content and go there because you vetted it.
Yes.
All right, when we come back from break, I want to talk about that. Okay. So we're going to talk about, if you're an expert and you have something to say, but nobody's listening to you because you're being gatekeepered, perhaps you want to find out about how to register on something like the International Expert Directory. That's really kind of a symbiotic relationship between the business bakery and what you do. That's why we're here today. All right, we'll be back with more of how to move from where you are to where you want to go. Stay with us.